Hi everybody, I'm Cincinnati-based illustrator John McCoy and you're watching a short drawing lesson. We are working from live observation, and what I've done is I've placed a toad character inside of a plastic display case, basically one that you would use to put playing cards or something like that. And the purpose of this lesson really is to establish a linear perspective grid for a physical three-dimensional object. And so if you have a box, if you have a clear box, it's a great thing. But if you don't, maybe you ordered something online and you received the item in a shipping box, you can cut the face off of one of the shipping boxes and put your items that you want to draw inside of that box. And what this establishes basically is the box itself has very clear lines and three-dimensionality of three-dimensionality. And those lines, the top edge of the box, the bottom edge of the box, all of those follow a linear perspective grid. And you can see how in this drawing as I'm roughing this in, I've already drawn those lines extended beyond the case just to show how they would go to vanishing points. Now I'm working with a Bic pen for visibility in this video, and the technique I'm using is tilting the angle of the pen to the surface of the paper in order to produce less dark strokes. I'm also applying less pressure in the beginning as I rough in a drawing framework. And this is really important because no matter what you're drawing, no matter what the circumstance in which you're drawing, when you're drawing something, you want to focus on capturing the entire whole first and then working out the details. Because why? You will end up, if you don't do that, you start with one part of the object and then you go to the next part of the object. It becomes very difficult to understand the relationship of the sizes and the proportions of objects and the various components that make up the larger image, and you may have some errors with proportion. Also, it allows you to budget your time. And this drawing took 15 minutes, but I sped up the video so that we can see efficiently the overall key points of the drawing as it evolves. As I produce this drawing, you can see on the left I've taken a photo of the object, although when I made this drawing I was working from live observation, direct observation of the three-dimensional object, which is really important because we're getting, no matter what you put in your box, it doesn't matter. You can put an apple, you can put a model car, if you have like a little car or something, that a toy car, you could put that inside the box and see how that follows a perspective grid. But the important thing is that you're working from direct observation from a three-dimensional physical object in front of you, and you have that three-dimensional information that you're working from. Now, another point I want to make in this video, and you'll see this as I begin to shade and establish the shadow that you're seeing in the reference image of the case. The important thing is that not only in that, but in every component of this drawing, I'm focusing on having my pen strokes coordinate with the three-dimensional linear perspective grid that is established by this case. And every object in real life, when drawn, has an imaginative linear perspective grid that it follows. And the more your pen strokes coordinate and follow those lines of perspective, the more convincing your drawing is going to be and the more realistic it's going to be. Because let's just imagine something. Everything that has a surface, when something interacts with that surface, if you draw on that surface, the line that you produce is always going to follow the perspective of that surface. And so the more we have our pen strokes follow that rule as well when we're drawing, or pencil strokes, whatever you want to say, even if we're painting, the more that those strokes follow the three-dimensionality, the actual perspective, the linear perspective of the surfaces of the object you're drawing, the more your drawing is going to be convincing for people. Even to the point of, here I'm drawing the head of this toad character, and I just drew that, and I'm thinking about the three-dimensionality. One thing that will really benefit you as you're learning to draw and improving your own drawings is paying attention to the three-dimensionality of that object in that way. And one exercise you can do is, while you're drawing, It's a mental exercise that you do. And here's how it goes. Basically, when you're drawing, you can focus on the drawing as you're drawing, as if you were physically touching that object that you're drawing with the tip of your pen. Imagine you're doing that as you're drawing. Not only does this make you more invested in believing the image you're producing with pencil or pen or paint, it makes you imagine that you're actually drawing that object, which definitely enhances. If you're paying attention really strongly to what you're viewing, you're using really strong observational skills, and you're putting that effort into make believe that what you're drawing is the object, and you define you lead all of your strokes of your pencil, pen, paintbrush with that concept of physically tracing the tip of the pen or the tip of the brush or the tip of the pencil along the three-dimensionality of the object. That is going to enhance your drawing, and it's going to create a repertoire of tactile experience, which is a lot of what drawing practice is. The more you draw, the more you practice drawing, you are entering into that imaginary world which has a physical counterpart. The drawing itself is as if this blank white paper is an imaginary world, and you are constructing a three-dimensional object by moving that pen around that object as it is formed. And this is going to bring energy, life, believability into your drawings. It's going to increase the quality of your drawings, and it's going to help you understand how to shade, because when you shade, you should always be following the contours of the object. You should be considering the three-dimensionality of that object, whether it's a sphere or a flat surface. If your pen is tracing along that in a believable way, that you're following those contours and those surfaces that coincide with linear perspective, your drawing is going to look more convincing and more believable. And this is also a practice we use in cross-hatching and shading. We follow the contours. Contour line drawing is extremely important as well, that we're following the contours, and this creates believability and authenticity in your drawing and increases your drawing skills. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I really enjoyed creating this drawing, and I feel like I learned a lot. And I hope you consider trying this drawing exercise yourself, whether it's a clear box or a shipping box, whatever it is. You can see the relationship. The box itself is just basically a visual key that establishes a grid of linear perspective. And linear perspective is key to all drawing, because these are three-dimensional objects in life that we're drawing, and they all coincide with an imaginary linear perspective grid. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, God bless you guys.